Hey, it's Jeremy from OpticHouse.com. You know what sucks? The gun that I'm inking right now that this character is holding, it's the wrong gun. It's supposed to be, or at least the style that this character, it's the Archangel Michael. The style of gun he's supposed to be carrying is more like a Colt Navy revolver. And unfortunately, I keep a plastic water gun by my desk that I use usually for gun reference. And I just, I'll put it in my hand or take a photograph of, me holding it, for whenever I need it for reference. And that gun is more like a typical Magnum revolver. So, unfortunately, whenever I tend to draw guns, it'll instinctively default to that. Or I have another gun that I'll use for more modern stories. It's like a Desert Eagle. So, I really should be, if I'm going to be using stuff from reference, make sure I have reference that's genre or era, relevant, that fits the gun the character's supposed to be using. Otherwise, I might just default and draw what I'm looking at instead of what I should do, which is make sure I have photos of the type of weapon it's supposed to be, and just use the gun in terms of like angle and scale, the one that I'm holding. So I'm thinking I may end up going back and re-inking that panel. So, bleh on me. And then I'm testing out different ways to draw wings. And the wings that I drew on Michael in the top panel, it's the first time I've kind of tried it with this little, like, kind of starbursty effect. Like, they almost seem like they're, like, glowing in terms of, like, the way that's going from dark to light. And I really like that effect. It reminds me of kind of the stuff that Mark Silvestri was doing with wings when he was drawing The Darkness. And that was one of my, favorite Top Cow series. I never really read a lot of Top Cow books regularly, but I was always a fan of Silvestri. That one was definitely one I was into. So, and something else that was on my mind. One of the things that is challenging when you're learning to ink with a brush is getting the flow of the ink just right. So I've been experimenting with how much water to add to the ink when I fill up my little ink tray, my little dish. I use a bottle cap that I fill in with a little bit of ink. And what I've found is that if I put in 1 drop of water first, and then put in, about 6 drops of water, 6 or 7 drops of water on top of that, putting it on top so that the water seeps into the ink underneath, seems to give me just about the right level of fluidity. And of course, if I'm inking and it's a little bit too fluid and it starts getting a little bit gray and washed out, I can always add another drop or 2 of ink. If if it's not dark enough, I can add some more ink. I can add some more ink, or I can add some more water if it starts becoming a little bit too dry. The problem is, I think instinctively I used to start drawing and using whatever it was right out of the bottle, exactly how it came out. And that became problematic because, of course, the having the right amount of viscosity, that's the word, having the right amount of viscosity in your ink will definitely affect the type of lines you can get from it. Because if the ink isn't running fluidly, then you don't really feel like you're drawing. The materials are fighting with you. So don't use your ink just the way it is. Try and find the level of viscosity that works right for you. And also, different levels of viscosity work better for different types of lines. There's times when I do want a little bit of a dry brush effect on pages. And for that, I will, purposely add a bit more ink and less water so it doesn't run as much. So, that's it for now. Check out my website, optichouse.com. If you got any questions, feel free to leave me a comment or visit my website and email me. Go be creative.